Automotive fluid leak inspections are very necessary. No matter the type of car that you drive, fluid leaks can hit you when you least expect it, and they could negatively affect the performance of your vehicle. It's important that everyone learns how to carry out fluid leak inspections. That way you can ensure that your vehicle will never let you down because you'll be able to diagnose and solve any kind of leakage. Fluid leaks. Depending on the fluid type that might leak, there are signs that show each. The first sign is always a drip of fluid that follows back to your vehicle. This is mostly coolant or fuel that may be leaking, though you should not rule out any other possibilities at all. Remember to always use the dipstick well to check the oil level. When such a thing happens, you should take the step of recognizing what might be leaking. Note that when the liquid is fuel, it always gives out a smell and always reflects an array of rainbow colors when it's in the presence of light. Be sure to solve this quick enough because it causes huge losses and might be disastrous if it's in the presence of an open flame. The coolant leakage on its case usually happens around the engine area. Air-cooled engines are the best because they don't experience such a kind of problem. The engine tends to overheat as soon as you start it and cannot keep up with high speeds or long distances of mileage. When you notice such a scenario, then you might need to have your coolant level checked. Inspect the engine. Before starting the car, always take your time to inspect the engine for any kind of leaks. They might be hard to note, especially when you park your car outside because of dew, but in case of anything, you'll be able to solve it early enough to avoid irreparable damage. Check any kind of tubes for cracks and loose ends in the engine, and be sure to fasten any loose screws or caps. Brake fluid for any kind of vehicle could also be leaking. When that happens, the brakes start to fail slowly and might even end up failing completely when they're not refilled in time. There are signs that show brake fluid leakage, and you should take your time to check it out for your own safety. To fully note such a condition, start your engine, but do not drive. Then step on the brakes and note what happens. If it's safe to do so, you can go for a short test drive and you'll be able to determine whether the brakes are failing. If it proves hard to note them, then you can always check with your mechanic. They know best through the experience that they gain working with cars. Most automotive manuals suggest that you go for fluid leak inspections after hitting the 75,000-mile range. Driving schools only base on teaching driving techniques. Even though maintenance is taught, it's not that helpful and should be introduced in a comprehensive automotive maintenance course. That way, most costs that people incur in maintenance will be cut down.